An ASP.NET Web Forms application project is the starting point in creating an ASP.NET website. Projects contain all of the web pages, images, and other files that are needed to create a website. In this lesson, you'll create an ASP.NET Web Forms application project. To begin, open Visual Studio and click File, New Project. Then click Visual C# in the left-hand pane. Visual Studio offers you the choice of working in Visual C# or Visual Basic. In this course, you will learn the basics of C# rather than Visual Basic. This is because C# is a more sought-after skill. Several surveys have shown that there are more jobs advertised for C# developers than Visual Basic, so your skills will be more marketable by choosing C#. Regardless of this, C# and Visual Basic are very similar indeed. If you learn C#, you should find that Visual Basic is very easy to pick up. Next, click ASP.NET Web Forms Application in the central pane. You may have noticed the MVC Web Application project types. MVC stands for Model View Controller. It's a programming methodology where all code is separated into those three groups. MVC web application projects exist for programmers who want to design their web applications using the MVC methodology. ASP.NET isn't really designed for the MVC methodology, so MVC projects tend to be harder to work with than standard web applications, especially if you're new to programming. For this reason, you won't use MVC projects in this course. Now, in the name box, enter My Project. Notice that the solution name box automatically copies what you enter. Now click the Browse button and browse to your sample files folder. If you placed your sample files in the recommended location, this will be C Practice ASP.NET 4.5. Then click Select Folder. Now make sure that Create Directory for Solution is ticked and click OK. You have just created your first ASP.NET Web Forms application project. Visual Studio automatically opens it. Note that this may take a little time. Next, you're going to close and reopen this new project. So close Visual Studio and click Yes if prompted. Now navigate to your sample files folder using Windows Explorer and open the new My Project folder that has appeared. Here you can see another My Project folder and a file called myproject.sln. myproject.sln is the solution file. The solution file tells Visual Studio which files are in your project. If you were to double-click on it, your project would be opened in Visual Studio. You'll also see the myproject.suo file. The .suo file is hidden by default, so you will only see it if you have configured Windows to display hidden files. You should have done this in Lesson 1.4. The .suo file is used to store settings for your project and will be automatically updated through Visual Studio. You will never have to open it directly. Next, open the My Project folder by double-clicking on it. This folder has a lot of items in it. These are the files that contain all of the code and content for your site. You'll notice a file named myproject.csproj. This is the project file. Projects are very similar to solutions. You can open your project by double-clicking myproject.csproj, just as you can open it by double-clicking myproject.sln. The major difference is that a solution can contain several projects. In this course, you'll only work with one project at a time, so it doesn't matter which file you use to open your projects. Open the project now by double-clicking either the solution file or the project file. You've now completed Lesson 1.5. Create an ASP.NET Web Forms application project.